I have to say it. I'm not going to be the Alabama coach. What?
How could you not predict at least 10 to 13 wins for next season is all I'm saying. But again,
Jesus Christ, 13 wins.
I said
you want an opportunity to play.
13
the Jets are
wins.
giving me an opportunity to play.
I'm sorry. I just remember that you compared Gesicki to Kelsey. I'm sorry.
I did not. You know what?
About it, I am ready to get hurt again.
Welcome to the live edition of the Battered Fans Show. I am the bearded fanatic. That is the Battered Jets fan. And Danny, what is this? Episode 18.
We're on 18.
Yeah, what seemed just like a few weeks ago, sir. We have put 18 episodes into this. And along the way, we've had plenty of battered moments. So it's only fair that the season ends with both of us talking about both our teams. And, you know, like we always do, sir, how the hell you doing?
You know what my favorite part of this is that this is episode 18. And I want to say like episode 12 or 13, we were both feeling pretty confident about this last game of the year being flexed to Sunday Night Football, it being for the division title. What kind of joke is that now?
We got hyped. We said, there's a slight possibility.
No, I don't think slight. I think we felt pretty confident. We're like, the Buffalo Bills aren't that serious. They're not that good. We're a lot better than they are. You guys punched them in the mouth twice. That we went up to Buffalo. You know, we did our little thing up there. And never in a million years, that I think we were going to lose 5 straight. But that's neither here nor there, because today I said, you know what? I'm used to using you as a punching bag on my show. I want another one. And somebody who's been very nice to us in the aspect of, you know, being as fair as we are about our teams. I said it's only right that I bring them on my show now. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Gunny Gumby from the New York Situation Report. Mr. Gunny, how the hell you doing tonight?
Hey, what's up, gentlemen? Man, look, I'm feeling the same way y'all feeling, distraught. Just distraught. I'm hearing y'all talk about how several weeks back like y'all said that, and I'm like, we literally had this conversation that at the end of the year, that game was going to be for the AFC East Championship.
Yeah.
Now, what kind of idiots are we?
Like, how dumb do we look? Like, talk about that take didn't like that didn't age well.
You'd figure that we just started rooting for these teams recently. Like, that's what you would figure.
Like we don't know what history has taught us about this squad. Look, I'm alive, man. I'm alive. I keep trying to tell myself there's some positives.
There it is.
And that's all I can do.
And that's kind of what I told Danny on the Jets show on Monday. I was like, because he was being very emotional. And by the way, shout out to Vito. Vito, you told me you'd be here. It's my honor to have you here listening to myself and then having to put up with these two Jet guys. But I promise you, they're nothing but the best, and they are as impartial as they come. But one of the things I was telling Danny this week, Vito, was I really hated the fact that he was being so emotional about it. And we're going to get into all the emotions that he was sharing with me over the weekend, but I never saw that side of him because the reason that we have a battered show in the first place and that he put this idea together is for the fact that we've been through so many battered moments that how was this any different than the last 20 plus years, 30 plus years that we've been fans? Okay, 30 plus for me, he's a little bit younger than I am. That we've been fans, we're going to take this as like, oh my God, we've never been in this situation before. The fact is we have been in this situation before. But that was kind of my
you're talking about the circumstance and a certain specific situation that we'll get into later.
Right.
But you're not, because I've been emotional ever since I became a Jets fan, because it's just a horrible feeling. What you're talking about is a specific situation, and we'll get into that in a little bit.
But we have something in common, both of us. Well, mainly in common. You guys aren't fighting for anything this week except trying to keep us out of the playoffs. But the thing we do have in common is that we both suffered 5 straight losses. And like I said, none of us really saw a point in the season, especially in November, where we're like, well, shit, as good as we're playing, there's no way we could lose 5 straight. We thought we both maybe pull 1 or 2 wins on the road. But Lord, that did not happen. Nope. Gunny,
I clowns, know bro. We some clowns.
Gunny, I know his point of view, sir. Give me your feeling of watching your team lose 5 straight. Now, granted, your situation is a little bit different than mine. I had my starting quarterback for most of those losses. You guys were who's my quarterback?
We haven't had a starting quarterback all year. Let's be honest. We haven't had a starting quarterback.
All right, let's start there.
I refuse to use that as an excuse because we still found ways to win off of the back of our defense and our running game. Our running game was, I mean, again, the loss of freaking, Brees is, I think, what ultimately turned this offense from a freaking Cinderella story into a pumpkin.
Right.
But we haven't really had that quarterback to legitimately say, oh man, this guy's legit. Tua, let's be honest, man. Tua has looked like a Pro Bowler. 9 out of 10 games he's played this season.
Yeah.
And I would kill for a Tua type production on the New York Jets because in all actuality, I believe with our defense, with Tua, this is already done. This AFC East is already locked up. Like, we just needed average quarterback play, and we couldn't get that. At some point, you had us rooting for the fact that Zach Wilson didn't throw an interception this game. Wasn't that great? That's how bad it got for us. And then we go ahead and went to freaking play the Patriots.
Oh, no, the Patriots. The Patriots.
It started then. Yeah. I think it started then. I
agree. When you suffered that first Patriots loss.
That first Patriots loss. It almost looked as if that same old Jet switch got hit. Like, oh shit, snap. And then we've regressed ever since. We've won one game since against a broken down Chicago team that had injuries mid-game, didn't have their starting quarterback. I actually think if Justin Fields had played that game, I don't know if we win that game. I really don't. That's how sad it is because we can't stop the run. You know what I'm saying? We've seen that impact over the last several weeks. It's demoralizing, man. It's demoralizing because the roster is better. The talent is significantly better. I think this defense is legit. I'm not going to say they're elite. I don't even know if I can say they're great. I'm going to have to agree with Battered Jets fans. We have a good defense. They can't generate turnovers. They decided in the second half of the season that wasn't a priority by any means, and that hurt us as well, right? We couldn't land on a fumble if our lives depended on it. Like, we're talking about gun to your head, get this fumble or die. Half our players would have been shot and just died.
For sure.
So, for me, they went from being an elite defense, great defense, to, you know what, Battered Jets fan is right. These guys it's a good defense. It's a good defense.
And I think that was the hardest part for me arguing with this guy because I felt like you said if you would have had a serviceable quarterback playing for the New York Jets with the type of defense that you had that was playing lights out for most of the year until, like you said, that Patriots game, and even the Patriots game, you guys lost in the last 5 seconds of the game. So even then, the defense is doing their thing. But if you guys would have had a serviceable quarterback, I think you're counting a different story. But for me, these 5 straight losses, and Danny's got to enjoy both teams' 5 losses. Obviously, mine hurt a little bit more, and he enjoyed that portion of it, was the fact that once we got to San Francisco, I don't know what it was that happened to Tua. And we're going to talk about Tua and the coaching situation here in a moment. But the type of throws that he was missing in San Francisco, I told Danny, this isn't Tua. That's why I was so hyped to see him against the Chargers, because I said, that's a one-off. The type of football that he's been playing this season, that's a one-off. I doubt he's going to show up like that again. Then, long and behold, here comes the Chargers game, and he starts the game 3 of 17. And I'm like, yeah, something's up. Something is up. But Danny, you were going to drop?
I was going to say, could it be the pressure? He was feasting on these bad teams, and he knew that everybody pointed out those 3-game stretch as this is where we find out if Tua is Tua.
Yeah.
He must have felt that pressure because he knew
100%.
that those 3 road games, Niners, Chargers, and then Bills, he's like, I got to show up because everybody's waiting. Everybody's watching very closely to see if I'm legit. And he folded under the pressure. I don't know if it was that, but I'm sure that had something to do with it.
And in all fairness, he did pick it up against the Bills game. And then I'm like, all right, you showed up against the Bills game. This should be easy for you when you come back home, right? You're going to show up against
defense, though.
I get that, but you're going to show up against the Packers because you got your mojo back. And then, long and behold, 3 untimely interceptions at the end of the game. I remember Gunny tweeting about how excited he was because he got another chance at the playoffs. Sir, you were being very disrespectful that day, saying that the Miami Dolphins gave you a gift. I could tell. I told Danny this. I go, when I saw that 3rd interception happen, I just walked the hell out of the house. Family and all, I said, I'm sorry, I can't be next to you guys right now because I'm not going to sit here and blame a concussion on him. Yes, he got concussed. It's been diagnosed. I get that. But if something's wrong, ask out of the game, because right now you put your team in a position where you literally cost them the game. And Danny, you and I have talked about it. I guess you could drop your 2 cents. It isn't going to be Tua this week, but he did say that if somehow they do make the playoffs, you might see him back. Should we even see him back this season?
No. What would be the point? Like, if he couldn't play these last 2 games, what would be the point of bringing him in on the road against a very, like, you're going to play against the 2nd seed. That's who you're going to play against.
Yep, 100%.
On the road. Like, I understand that it's almost like throwing up the white flag.
Right.
But if you make it, it's because you beat the Jets. So whatever quarterback, I guess Skylar Thompson, that gives you that victory, just ride with him, because I can't imagine bringing in Tua for that game would be a good idea. The reason you're keeping him out is because you're scared that he's going to get hurt. I don't know. I can't imagine that would be the smartest move.
Yeah, like I'm with Battered Jets fan on this one, man. Like right now, you are in playoff mode. You're in playoff mode. You've been in playoff mode since last week. And if he wasn't good enough to go last week, and he can't go this week, don't bring that dude back just to go ahead and go up against a top team in the playoffs. Because like Battered said, you're playing the second seed in that division. And I don't know, you bring that dude out there right now with I think his confidence is a little bit shook. Let's be honest. You know, Tua started off hot. You know what I'm saying? MVP talks. They were all being thrown his way.
Up until like week 14.
Yeah. Everybody said, though, you know what? We're going to see it. And Battered called it. Because like everybody said, hey, once y'all play the 49ers, though, things get real. Because your schedule gets tough.
That 3-game stretch. Yep.
And we all called it. And he lost that first game. And I think it started like a bit of a domino effect in his mind. Like, damn, man, people were already expecting this. And here I am. I don't think you bring him back, man. I think Tua is a starting quarterback in the NFL. Like, people are going to tell me I'm silly. I don't know if I'm going to go as far as calling him a franchise guy, because I think a franchise guy is a person you can put the weight of the team on their shoulders, and they can carry you through thick and thin. But he is definitively a starting NFL quarterback. He's definitely one of the best 32 starting quarterbacks in the league. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. I think you saved that dude, man. Right now, the concussion thing is scary, though. That's got to be scary. This is 3 concussions he's had in 2 months. That can't be. 3 months, can't be. Yeah, that's terrifying. So I think, you know, he sits out this one, man. Like, you don't bring him back in the playoffs where the pressure's at an all-time high against another team fighting for their life, because now it's a legitimately playoff football across the board. So everybody's going 110%.
Yep.
I don't think you bring that dude back in there, man, knowing that, you know, one wrong hit could be the last time. We just witnessed, you know, a horrific situation on Monday Night Football.
I think that more than anything makes people, you know, hesitate on doing that.
Facts. But before that horrific situation was Tua when he got hit and his hands. Bro, I saw that and I was like, oh God.
By the way,
like,
I know that probably nobody in Cincinnati or Buffalo is watching this right now, but Bills Mafia did an amazing job when Tua got hurt, and they did another amazing job, obviously, for Damar Hamlin, but even more so, the fans of Cincinnati
fans.
Cincinnati fans, you guys are over and beyond so amazing. The fact that when Tua was being stretched out, the whole stadium was chanting his name. When Damar Hamlin got hurt, they blew up this guy's donation funds. Granted, a lot of fan bases blew up the donation fund for Damar Hamlin, but those are some top class fans that they got up there in Cincinnati. What were you gonna say, Danny?
Real quick, before I get into what I was gonna say, Vito said he wouldn't bring in Tua either. He said it's just right out with Thompson. I agree with him. Now, 100%. The reason I agree with him, the biggest reason I agree with him,
for sure,
if we were talking about bringing Tua back after he just got done with this 5-game win streak where they're hot and he's balling, maybe you want to ride it, but he's had a really rough last 5 games.
We're gonna talk about that video. We're gonna talk about that shortly.
Or 4 games. So it's not like he's like playing well. He's playing very poorly. So if he's playing poorly and then he has 2 weeks off where he might come back and have to knock some rust off, is that really the situation which you want to bring him back into a playoff game? Like, I feel like the circumstances on how he left the last 4 games that he did play, 2 weeks off where he might have to knock some rust off, and then playing against the 2nd seed in the AFC, I feel like everything says it's pointless to bring him back.
It's a disservice. It's a disservice to Tua if the Dolphins bring him back out there. Simple as that.
I got another question for you guys, and I think it's something that both of us suffer through, both fan bases, and it's the case of fickle fans. And I went with fickle this time, Gunny, because I do know that you found the perfect word to describe some of these fans. But over the last let's say 3 weeks leading up to this one, the Packers lost and the Patriots lost. Let's use these last 3 weeks. Lordy, have I read some fickleness on Dolphins Twitter. I know that both of you have read some fickleness on your own Twitter, Jets Twitter. But God, listen, I may turn a lot of people off with this one, but I honestly don't care. So if you guys don't mind, the fact that you could call yourself a fan of this team and then go out there and say, oh, it's time to cut loose of everybody. Yeah. Oh, it's time to get rid of the coach. Oh, it's time to get rid of the quarterback. The fact that people are claiming that this is the worst collapse in Dolphins history, it's not. You must have just become a fan of this team for you to say that we went 1-15. Cam Cameron definitely deserved to get fired.
But they said collapse, the biggest collapse. This was a collapse.
Listen, it was a collapse, but not the biggest one. I'm sure, and I should have done it, but I didn't. I am sure that there is first-time head coaches that have had rough first years, and guess what happened? They got better the second year. They got better the third year. And the fourth year, they're off to the races. My point is, when you're saying get rid of Tua, with like how you said, Gunny, through week 14, he was basically leading the NFL in almost every single passing category.
Facts.
I get it. I get it. They caught up to him. I get it. They caught up to what he was doing right. But still, that means that due to Mike McDaniel not changing his scheme and not putting Tua in a better plan to succeed is probably what caused him to have those really rough games. So let's go to Coach McDaniel. It's his first year ever being a head coach. He's in charge of the whole entire team outside the defense, and I'll get to that in a second. But you can't say after 1 year that this guy's ready to go. It wasn't a 1-15 season. We were like you guys. We were basically at the top of the fucking division. At one point, Danny, weren't we flirting with the number 1 seed in the whole AFC? So it's like, calm the fuck down. I get it.
Yeah, but the thing is that came against really bad competition, and I think that's where everybody has the issues.
But the thing is this, though. I'm a big fan of you. You're only control of what's put in front of you. Like, you're right. It's the NFL. Like the teams
you have
this
to
year
fight against the other teams. They lost 5 in a row after those easy games were out of the way.
But you got, but the people that are saying to let go of Tua or to let go of freaking Mike McDaniel, I just spoiled. You're talking about a top 10 offense in the NFL. A top 10 offense in the NFL. The first year head coach that made a bottom 15 offense look elite in his first year. By the way,
he's being nice. It wasn't bottom 15. It was more like bottom 8 last year on
bottom
offense.
8? My bad. Yeah. But like for me, I'm like, I would kill. Yo, Battered Jets fan, we would kill for an opportunity for that offense
for sure
in the top 10. Sure. And that's why I'm like, man, as spoiled fans, as fans that like you said before, either recency bias or they don't know any better. But like, it's hard to score points in the NFL. The Dolphins did it at will for 12 weeks. And we all sat there like, oh, this is going to be the week of This is going to be the week. And I was like, damn, all right, maybe I'm wrong about Tua.
Maybe it's this week. Maybe it's this week.
And I kept saying every week, I was like, hey, this is the week. Cleveland Browns going to get that ass. Nope. Tua was surgical. I get it. He went against the number 1 defense in the 49ers. And yeah, they wrecked his shit. But it's the number 1 defense. They were doing that to everybody.
Right. And we were in that game for most of the game. So it's like, facts. Danny, I get what you're saying, that it came, but we played well. And facts. Even in the games that we lost, like you said about your Jets, you were in every single game. We were also in every single game that we've lost. So it's not like we're getting curb stomped by anybody. The ball's just not going sometimes our way. And for people to just put the blame on Mike McDaniel, and I shared this one tweet with you yesterday. I told you I'm not going to put a name to it. But the fact that somebody's New Year's resolution was for Stephen Ross to die, I think that one is the one that really irked my. This guy is willing to spend as much money as possible to make this team as great as possible. People are like, oh, look, he might try to go get Jim Harbaugh and then have to give Mike McDaniel an extension because he tried to go through back doors to do it. The fact that he's trying to get the best people possible for this team just goes to show you that the owner's trying to do everything he can to win. He may go about it doing it wrong, but he's still trying to do everything possible to have this team win. That brand new stadium, basically, that came out of his pocket. Regardless of the funds that the city's giving back to him for all the events to come to, he still paid for that out of pocket. Up
front. Yep.
Come on, man. It's like, it's really irked me with some of these fans.
Look, I'm not gonna lie to you. So when it comes to Battered Jets, like Jets fans, I can understand. We've been going through it, bro. Like, and we don't have an owner like you guys do. We just finally got a GM that knows what the hell he's talking about.
Preach.
We haven't had a quarterback that can make us look at and be proud to say, hey, our quarterback is the top 32 quarterback in the NFL. We haven't had that in quite some time. So I understand like our fan base being disgruntled, but I can't understand how our fan base can go from, oh man, we were bottom in defense last year. We were we had 4 wins. This year there was a lot of promise to look at.
Because they got gassed up.
I'm pissed, 100%, and I'm pissed about that. I'm 100% pissed. But I'm not gonna fire Coach Saleh. I'm not gonna fire Coach Saleh in year 2. You know the problem.
What if Sean Payton's a possibility?
I don't want Sean Payton. We don't know what Sean Payton can do without Drew Brees. The dude, it got rough in New Orleans and ran away when all of a sudden, oh shit, cap casualty. I don't know what I'm gonna. Why would I want this guy to? Oh, you ran away when things got real in freaking New Orleans. Drew Brees went away, and the cap penalties were starting to come down. You're like, you know what? I'm tired. My brain hurts. I'm gonna go home for a while. Now you want to come back and freaking we're gonna give up a first round. Everybody that says Sean Payton this, Sean Payton that, I'm like, what are we talking about, bro? We have no idea if this guy's a good. Look at Bill freaking Belichick without Tom Brady. What if freaking Sean?
They're about to make the playoffs again.
Are they though? I'm pretty positive the Steelers are gonna make the playoffs. I'm pretty positive if it's not the Dolphins. It's going to be the Steelers.
I agree.
100%. If it ain't the Dolphins, it's going to be the Steelers. Patriots are not making the playoffs.
First of all,
and even if they did.
The Patriots are one of the worst losses I've seen in a long time. And
you know what, though?
The playoffs 2 years in a row.
And the coaching on that team is elite.
On Twitter a couple weeks ago.
Mike Tomlin
is the best coach of all time, and everybody keeps hating on him.
I disagree 100%.
He's about to get this team into the playoffs again.
Let me tell you something. You're being disrespectful right now because just a couple weeks ago, Danny, you literally said when you guys were alive, oh, we're all going to expect for them to go up to Buffalo and get their ass kicked. Oh, now the Patriots are getting into the Super Bowl? I mean, now they're getting into the playoffs?
Super Bowl?
I'm sorry.
Now they're telling you right now.
You literally said Buffalo's going to kick their ass a few weeks ago when you guys were still in it. But now because you're not in it, all of a sudden they're going to go up there and beat Buffalo? That's
Bill Belichick. They don't need to beat Buffalo. If you guys can't beat the Jets and the Steelers don't win.
Oh, if the Steelers don't win.
Nope. No.
They're in. If everybody
the
loses,
Patriots need to win. No.
The
Patriots need to win. If they don't win, they're out. Nope, you're right. They currently hold the 7th seed, right?
If everybody loses, the Patriots are in.
The Bills.
So that's what
not beating the Bills.
They don't have to beat the Bills, is what I'm saying.
But what you're saying right now is that everybody's going to lose. Dolphins are going to lose. Patriots are going to lose. Steelers are going to lose. And then the Patriots are going to be in. Is that really making it in? Is that really making it in?
I would have loved to make it that way. Would you take it? I'm sure you would.
Bearded, I would take that only because 12 years, bro.
Right.
I'm sorry if that was the case.
I told Danny 3 weeks ago, and for you guys listening live,
everybody on the outside looking in would be like, well, damn, I wish I would have won enough to make the fucking playoffs. I don't care how I make it. That just means you won enough.
Think about it, though.
I do care how I make it.
But the thing is this, though, for everyone saying that Bill Belichick is the greatest coach of all time, I call bullshit. Because Bill Belichick right now has 2 wins all season against a team above 500. And at the time, those 2 wins came from the New York Jets. Every other team has beaten were below 500. Any team that was relatively good, he got smacked.
Look at us talking about the Dolphins about being good, and all they did was beat up on those 5 teams that were shitty.
Oh my God! So did you guys. You guys played the same people we did.
They also beat the Buffalo Bills. They also beat the Baltimore Ravens. So I'm sorry to say it, bro. They still had wins that were above 500 teams. And every time I look at that, I'm like, look, Bill Belichick is the most overrated coach of all time. He's the most overrated coach of all time.
You're fucking crazy.
He's
the reason that the Giants beat the Bills, one of the greatest offenses of all time. It was because Bill Belichick, the defensive coordinator for the Giants, shut down Jim Kelly. He shut down that offense. They didn't carry Bill Parcells on the shoulders.
I didn't argue about. Tell me he's the greatest defensive mind of all time. Tell me that.
He is the greatest defensive mind of all time. But that coach, he ended up running that defense and becoming the head coach. And he had those Patriots defense. The reason that Tom Brady won his first Super Bowl wasn't because of Tom Brady. It was because of Bill Belichick's defense.
Okay.
He stopped
I'm going to say it's because he adopted the Bill Parcells built defense.
I'll give him that one.
He stopped the greatest show on turf. If you give anybody else that team, are they winning the championship?
Who? I got a question for you. Who drafted that the defense that Bill Belichick that won that first Super Bowl with? Who
drafted that team?
Of that team, who drafted that team? Thank you. Who drafted that team?
The 2000 Ravens. Did they have a dynasty?
No.
You need to have good coaching in order to win consistently.
But for you to say he's the greatest of all time, come on now.
He has great players. That's fine. But Bill Belichick knows how to use them. He saw Lawyer Milloy. Lawyer Milloy, you want more money? Fuck you. Get out of here. Guess what? I'm going to win the Super Bowl again right after I kick you out of here. And everybody's like, Lawyer Milloy is like the best safety in the league. What is he doing? He didn't care. He went ahead and he won another 2 championships. Like, this guy is the best.
Whoa. Listen, I gave you the first one. Don't get crazy now. Tom Brady carried that team.
Tom Brady. I'm sorry.
Carried the rest
in 2003 and 2004?
Listen, they were a balanced team. But you're going to sit there and say that Bill Belichick won all 7 by himself? Fuck out of here, man.
No, I'm not saying that. But I am saying that it was because of him that he won the first one, and he was a heavy part of the first, second, and third, 2003, 2004.
We're talking too much Patriots on this show right now.
I don't know what we're doing right now.
Bill Belichick,
we're gonna have to greatest of all time. I don't think so. No, 100%. If you say greatest defensive coordinator of all time, cool.
The thing I hate the most about this debate is that I hate defending anything Boston, but it's just such. But it annoys me to hear everybody say that he's not. Because as much as I hate him,
he's not.
He is.
For the record, I will say this. For the longest time, I used to say that Tom Brady was the benefit of the genius that was Bill Belichick. And then I saw Tom Brady go to Tampa Bay, win a Super Bowl, made it look easy, and since then has carried the team to the playoffs with subpar coaching. Subpar coaching with this bum.
People,
this bum. And then you got freaking Bill Belichick right now
the best offensive line of anybody in the league by far.
Offensive line
not this year. Tom Brady?
You know
this
what?
Year they got this
year. Oh yeah. How many wins do they have this year? He finally doesn't have
I think 8 or something like that.
I think he might have 7. I think he might have 7. Did they win the division already?
Yes, they won the division already.
They won it with 7 wins already.
All right, we're still talking too much. Tom Brady. He's the GOAT. Stop that. Tom Brady is the GOAT.
It is what it is.
Stop it.
Bill Belichick, greatest defensive coordinator of all time.
Oh, my God. Listen, let's talk about other coaching changes and quarterback changes. Like Vito was saying, we already have names being thrown around to get rid of Mike McDaniel in his first year, Danny. We got people to get rid of Tua Tagovailoa after having a very nice year. Tom Brady, Derek Carr, Aaron Rodgers, Lamar Jackson, anybody of any importance is getting thrown around for the Miami Dolphins for next season. And I hate the fact that we're talking about next season because we still have a game left. The only reason I am bringing it up is because I need you to take off your Jets hat for a second. Gunny, take off your Jet. No, you not literally. Don't take it off. You don't have to. But I meant like I need you to put on a different mindset for this one.
Okay, let's go.
Danny, honestly, for what you've seen them improve from last year to this year, and they have improved. Like just not defensively. Defensively, we've taken a step back. But again, the only thing remaining from the defense is who? Josh Boyer. Josh Boyer obviously wasn't the man that put us in a position to win most of those games last year on the defense side of the ball. That's just my 2 cents. We're not talking about who it was, but it just wasn't him. He has put this team in many different situations where, like you said, why are we playing 20 yards off the ball when it's literally like a 3rd and 3? Like, obviously, you're putting the team in a bad position. So let's go there. Based off what you've seen, Danny, this year from this coach and from this quarterback, are you ready, regardless of who said quarterback is, would you do a coaching change already next year? And would you do a quarterback change already next year?
I don't think I would, but when you talk about this team has improved, you're not talking win total.
No, I'm talking about offensively, and that's mainly what I'm talking about.
But they've suffered defensively.
Correct.
Because their defense has gotten worse.
That's been the one constant, which is Josh Boyer.
But, okay. Well, Brian Flores, I think, had a lot to do with the defense last year, don't you?
Correct. That's my point.
So I think since Brian Flores left, right? We're not talking about in general. Since Brian Flores left and Mike McDaniel took over, the defense has suffered, but the offense has improved.
Yes.
The win total is the same, right?
Correct. Yeah.
So I wouldn't do it just because I'm not an advocate of a coaching carousel. I really dislike that. For that reason, I wouldn't change anything, but I wouldn't say that the team has drastically improved. Overall, they're in the same place that they were last year.
Right.
The offense may have improved, but the defense, I felt, took a step back.
Well, that's
I know that there's injuries, but I would keep them on, not because I appreciate so much what Mike McDaniel has done, but just because I don't think it's healthy to constantly be changing coaches.
For me, the defensive coordinator is the one that has to go. They basically told Mike McDaniel when he came in was, hey, by the way, we think as an organization, the defense played so well last year that if we keep Josh Boyer, even though we don't have Brian Flores, that we're going to have the same type of success. So they told Mike McDaniel, you could build the staff and you could bring in a few new heads, but we're going to keep the same defensive coordinator. That's where you fucked up. because you assumed that it was all Josh Boyer when in actuality, it had to do a little bit with Brian Flores and knowing how to run that defense.
For
Gunny,
sure.
I go to you. Mike McDaniel and Tua, change for next year or keep it the same?
I think the organization would be idiotic if they got rid of Mike McDaniel and Tua next year. The only culprit here, obviously, beyond obvious, is Boyer. I remember having a conversation or going into a little Twitter battle with one of your fans on Twitter earlier in the season about the defense and saying how, like, yeah, well, Brian Flores being gone is going to impact the defense. Or, oh, who cares? We got Boyer. He was the defensive coordinator. And I'm like, yeah, but I think you misunderstand just how much of a genius
involved
Brian Flores is and how involved he was in that part of the ball. And he told me their defense was going to be top 10. Now their offense got an offensive coach. He was going to be top 10. I'm like, man, you're kind of delusional, but okay, cool. We'll see. Boyer was literally riding the coattails of Flores, and it couldn't be more obvious, right?
Sure.
The lack of adaptability and the ability to adjust the defense to even cater it to the offensive he was playing was blatantly obvious. I'm sorry, man. Being able to bring your offense into the top 10, top 5 category in the NFL is so impressive to me. And it's significantly harder to do that in the league than it is to find somebody with the ability to get you into a top 15 defensive ranking.
Right.
Because in all actuality, you don't need a defensive genius. Somebody that's going to be that middle of the pack, top 15 guy for the Dolphins right now is going to make this team very scary with the offense being able to do what the offense can do. So no, for me, man, like McDaniel and Tua are not the issue here, man. It's not the issue. The issue is Boyer. It was the issue from jump because you need to understand and value the expertise of your head coach. And the head coach in that situation last year was Brian Flores. Y'all won games based off of defense. This year, y'all won games based off of outscoring individuals. Yeah. The difference is your offense was still respectable last year. It wasn't great, but it was respectable and still won games. Y'all didn't even have a respectable defense this year.
And that's fair because Danny's been shitting on them all year. And it was all about bend, but don't break, bend, but don't break, bend, but don't break. And eventually, and listen, I've been a big defender of my defense.
Yep.
But I will tell you that when you spend averaging, by the way, 35 plus minutes defensively on the field almost every single game, something's got to change. Is it
but
the
that
players?
falls on Mike McDaniel also.
I get it. But if you had a defense, sir, like you said, could cause turnovers. Turnovers have been a big thing for us this year. We haven't gotten any. You remember last year, we were literally taking the ball away, whether it was interceptions or fumbles, consistently. Yep. We were getting the ball back for our offense. Granted, our offense was shite last year. So if we were a little bit different this year in the aspect of getting the ball back and giving our offense more opportunities, it might be a different story. But let me ask you a quick question, and then we'll move on to rivalry week here. If Lamar Jackson, Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, any of these top names are available, are you even taking a look if you're either – wait, actually – this goes for both of our teams. So if you're a Jet fan, Dolphin fan, whatever, right? If any of those names are available, whether it be trade, whether it be replacing Zach Wilson with said names, or whether it's replacing Tua, would you guys do it?
Okay, I'll say right now, any of those guys want to come to be a Jets?
Right now,
yes,
done.
100%.
Like,
no questions asked. I'll throw money in on this to go ahead and bring one of those guys in. No ifs, ands, or buts. Now, for you guys, I got to say this.
Way to put it, Gunny. Vito loves that support.
Appreciate you, Vito. Appreciate you. But I got to say this. If I'm a Dolphins fan, y'all got to be careful with that. All that excitement about, because y'all got to remember, y'all just paid Tyreek Hill.
Yep.
Y'all just paid freaking Bradley Chubb.
We got to pay
y'all
Christian
don't have
Wilkins.
any first-round picks.
Right.
You got to pay Wilkins, right? Freaking, you've got 2 cornerbacks right now, Howard and Jones, who haven't looked the part. Like, they really haven't looked the part.
They definitely took a step back.
Yep. So in order to get one of those guys, you're talking about revamping your cap structure 100%. Mm-hmm. You don't have the capital in terms of draft picks to really bring in a Lamar Jackson or an Aaron Rodgers. Now, if you're going to give up your seconds this year and then multiple firsts to follow, like, you're literally crippling your franchise with the hope that you're going to win a Super Bowl, because that's the only thing that matters, right? Like, if you're going to do all that, go all in, all the chips into the middle of the pot, that's to win the Super Bowl. And I think crippling your team in that fashion and having to go ahead and take away key pieces of it could do more damage than help. Because Tua, I mean, again, if you look at the numbers, he performed on par with the majority of those guys that you would want to bring in.
And I think, Danny, if I remember correctly, I said 26 touchdowns for Tua and around 5 to 6 interceptions for this year. I think he's at that. So I got the numbers right for this season. But Danny, real quick, before you drop your 2 cents, I don't want to seem like I'm defending Chris Greer because he has hit on a lot of picks, right? He's obviously had some big misses as well. Like the year they drafted Tua, it's like they took Noah Iggy B that's been a ghost. He's taken a lot of people who haven't been producer, but for the most part, he's also put us in a position to win. Now, granted, you could only do so much. Everything else needs to come into play. Offense needs to play great. Defense needs to play great. We're in a position, like Gunny said, Danny, where we got no draft capital. Currently, we're going to be looking at negative cap space next year until we restructure a bunch of contracts. So he went all in, and we're basically getting 8-9 wins out of this season. So 2 quick questions to you, Danny. You keeping Tua or replacing him with any of those other 5 quarterbacks? And do you think Chris Greer needs to go based off the position he put us in?
I wouldn't say Chris Greer has to go just because, like you said, he's loaded up this offense. I feel like he's done a great job of loading up the offense. The defense, he can't predict that Xavier Howard's going to fall off a cliff.
Yep.
Ryan Jones injured all year.
Yep.
Javon Holland, I think, has played well. Your defensive line has played well. I mean, it hasn't produced like we thought it might.
Right.
You got Bradley Chubb in the middle of the year.
Young Jalen Phillips.
You needed something, so he got it. And so he's been reloading. So it's not like it's for a lack of effort. He's brought in big names. I think that he doesn't need to go. Now, I will tell you, I would feel very uncomfortable if I was a Dolphins fan and I came in with Tua as my number 1. Basically, more than anything, because of the way this year's kind of played out. And no fault of his, right? You can't predict concussions. But
yeah,
there's just some players that are unfortunately, and I hate to say it, but they're just injury prone. And like it's almost like they're a magnet to it. And it feels like Tua is riding that wave. And like I said, it's not no fault of his own.
Right.
So
he doesn't want to be injured, but yeah.
But like I said, like you guys are like in a win now mode. That's why I think that if you guys miss the playoffs, it hurts a lot more than it did for the Jets because we were playing with house.
100%.
We weren't expecting to
I agree.
Playoffs. We were kind of happy if we would have ended up where we are right now. This is what we kind of wanted.
Well, you heard it. I thought 10-13 wins, so for sure it's going to hurt. It hurts us more.
So I feel like if you guys come in with Tua as your plan A, I feel like you're kind of gambling on throwing another year away because he might get injured again. What if he gets concussed again? And again, knock on wood, I hope that doesn't happen. I feel bad for the guy, but I would feel uncomfortable with that as my plan A. With that said, I feel really confident in saying that Tom Brady's going to be your starting quarterback next year.
Wow. I don't want to get into that right now. I don't want to get into that whatsoever.
Well, that's what what is this? January 4th, 2022?
Yeah.
I'll clip this out and I'll 2023. I'll bring this back when he signs with the Dolphins.
Wow.
Tom Brady. Wow. Okay.
Wow. You heard it here first from the Battered Jets fan. He thinks Tom Brady will be our starting quarterback next season.
Hot motherfucking take, baby.
I think he's gonna be a part. Yeah.
Gunny, it's time. Battered Jets fan, it's time. It is Rivalry Week. You guys escaped with a win in New York many weeks ago. Teddy Bridgewater was pulled
by like over 20 points.
Oh my God! Here we go.
It was a beatdown. I don't know if we would say
that was the most points we scored all year.
All season was on the Dolphins.
You scored 20 points in the last 6 minutes of the game because my defense
still scored them. You still was like talking about that Ravens game. It was like, Ravens.
What was the final score? What was the final score?
Listen, first of all, that Ravens game, we were the ones that were down and came back. You guys weren't down.
You still scored it all in the fourth quarter, and you still talk about that fourth quarter. Like,
fuck that. You guys suck.
Don't take our fourth quarter away.
And you know that. This is why the New York Jets aren't playing for anything because they're holding on to small victories. They're holding on to very small victories.
All we got.
Unfortunately, you had a starting quarterback for what, like 10 games this year? We had a starting quarterback for 0 games this year. We've been playing with backup quarterbacks
this year.
all year long.
I appreciate that they're calling him a backup now, but they were on that Zach Wilson boat for most games this season. Yes. I'm not denying it. I'm not denying it.
All right.
But before we get into Jets preview, Mr. Gunny, don't you have a special treat for some Jets fans out there?
I sure do. So we wanted to go ahead and partner up with the Bitter Fanatic Battered Jets fan. Man, I love these guys. Probably 2 of the biggest relationships I've built this year getting into this content creation game. So because of that, it is Jets versus Dolphins week, and we wanted to go ahead and make this thing spicy, right? So we're going to be giving away on this channel a Garrett Wilson autographed football. Okay, so all you got to do pretty much to qualify.
Signature, by the way.
That's not mine. So, and just to be safe, you got the JSA certification right there to prove that this is legit. Garrett Wilson. I have a theory that Garrett Wilson doesn't put his jersey number on his autographs because he's planning on getting number 5 next year when Mike White is no longer on the team. So that's why he doesn't put his number on his autographs. But we're going to be giving away this autograph football on this channel. And all you have to do to qualify thus far is follow all of our channels. All right. So follow New York Jets Sit Rep, Bearded Fanatic, Battered Jets Fan. And we're going to be picking it on your channel, right, Bearded? On Sunday before the game. Picking the winner on Sunday before the game. I'm sure you're going to have some extra rules potentially. Like, what are the rules?
I probably will. So we'll probably drop a keyword somewhere in this real quick.
Yeah.
You know, we'll ponder it. And then we're going to verify that you've actually followed all 3 channels. So what I'm going to do on my end, if you guys see right here over my shoulder right there, I posted it on my Twitter a couple days ago. Actually, it did very well, Danny. I think it had 35,000 views. I bought an additional 4 of those, and I'm going to gift them out. I'm literally, if you hit me up with the keyword, first 4 people who hit me up with that keyword are literally going to get these sent to their house.
Awesome.
What I appreciate is, and it's actually pretty big. So let me, give me a second here. Mr. Marino himself.
The GOAT.
Right there.
Oh, look, and he's wearing all his championship rings. They do a pretty good job making those things realistic.
I have no comeback right now.
What can you say?
All I gotta say is the Jets haven't won anything since Danny was -35, but that's fine. That's fine. If you want to shit on my guy that literally held every single passing record for our whole entire life, that's fine. Shit on my guy.
You ain't had to say it like that though. You didn't have to come at us like that. That was a little rough.
I think the Great Depression was still going on when the New York Jets won their initial Super Bowl.
Okay, all right. We took our swing and it's over now. We can stop with the swings.
That's the fun part about Rivalry Week. Like I said, I'm going to give those away. We'll drop a keyword, something fun. Follow all of our channels. We'll tweet about it. We'll obviously, after we do our highlight video, we'll tweet about it. And then hopefully you guys win one. I know my boy Vito, if he's still in here, I know he's excited to get one. Vito was actually in that drawing, Danny, for the Houston Texans game.
Oh, he didn't get it?
It literally swung him by that much. So he almost got it. So we're going to do something for this one. I will not promise you this, but there is a slight potential that we might give Jets Dolphin tickets away. I'm still talking to a few people about that one, but I'm just throwing that one out there as well.
I think this is a good time. I think it's a good time to ask Gunny, now that you brought up your 2 season tickets and how you gave them away for the Texans game.
Yes, that's exactly what we're about to get into. Jets preview, baby. Here we go.
I think it's a good time to ask Gunny a quick question and kind of his opinion on a situation between Matt and I. No, go ahead. You tell him.
Okay. All right. Yes, Vito. I know, Vito. Vito, I think I'm going to make this one easy for you, man. I'm going to make this one easy for you. All right. So, Gunny, I have a question for you.
All right.
Let's say you lived in the great state of Florida, right?
All right. Cool.
You only got to see your New York Jets once a year.
Okay.
Your boy, the Bearded Fanatic, is a season ticket holder since 2015.
Okay.
My season tickets are section 130, row 1, seats 17 and 18, right behind the end zone, right next to the world famous deep end. And I give away said ticket to you every single year so you could come enjoy your New York Jets.
Okay.
Whether you're playing for anything or not, Gunny, would you still come see your New York Jets, even though your said second favorite team, your side bitch, your not important wife, is also playing in the same town at the same exact time? But they're actually playing for something. They're playing, I think Danny said, a record 14 straight wins, which will mean nothing if they lose the next 30 and miss the playoffs. We're talking about the Brooklyn Nets. Which team would you be going to? Would you be taking my said free ticket and go to the New York Jets game, or are you going to watch some basketball? What's your answer there, buddy?
Just to predicate this, my first love is basketball. Okay, I came to the States
so the
from
Jets
Haiti.
The Jets
no.
The Jets aren't your wife.
Hold on, time out. Hold on, Bearded Fanatic. Hold
Okay.
on now. Hold on. I'll say this. I came from the States. First time I ever played basketball was in Asbury Park, New Jersey, using the whole milk carton thing. And I saw some kids playing. I wanted to get in on it. Started playing basketball. Got good at it. I went to Rutgers University on a scholarship because of basketball. Basketball was my first love. Obviously my first love. Yeah, I went to Rutgers.
Oh, okay.
So with that said, football, hey, that's my main. Like that's the love of my life. Like, so I played football briefly in high school, and I'll tell you this, I realized I wasn't built for it. I wasn't built for it, man. Like, and there's a special appreciation to where I didn't like getting hit. So I was the dude that, I was 6 feet tall, but I was like $175. I didn't like getting hit. It didn't feel good, which is why I chose basketball. You can't hit me on basketball. If you do, it's a foul. I'm going to the free throw line. It's easy get, easy day.
For sure.
So because of that, I've always had a special admiration of what these guys do. Like you're putting your body through hell. You're modern day gladiators in my mindset.
Yeah.
I'm going to watch the Jets play. I'm sorry.
Even though the game is meaningless and you look,
I'm going to watch the Jets play.
I asked him.
I'm going to watch the Jets play. I'm a Knicks fan. Okay. I'm a Knicks fan, vice and that, but I'm still going to go watch. I'm still going to go watch.
If
because it's not a playoff game. It's not a playoff game. This isn't a playoff game.
There's
82 games in the NBA.
Again, but let me clarify.
All right,
there's a chance that they break a franchise record.
Okay.
Those things don't happen very often. So what I'm doing is I'm choosing watching history for the franchise that I root for,
right?
Or going to watch a meaningless football game in which a part of me is kind of numb because I'm okay if they lose because it just improves their playoff record, their draft pick, right. And also it makes the Patriots make sure that they stay out of the playoffs or improves the chances of the Patriots not making it. So it's almost like I want the Jets to win, but I'm okay if they don't. Where right down the road, I got a good team that I can root for, and they're actually playing for history.
Okay. So what happens if they lose? If they lose, hold on, I got you, Billy. I got you, Billy.
Go ahead.
What happens if the Brooklyn Nets lose?
Then I went to watch a good team lose, but they were playing for something.
Okay, cool. So here it is. So as a Jets fan, as battered as you are as well, for me to go to a game where you would think it's meaningless, but the chance to do one of two things. One, if we win, we mess up our freaking ability to go ahead and get, a top 10
player.
Whatever. Right. But we essentially get to make sure the Dolphins don't go to the playoffs. Two,
that doesn't mean anything to me. I don't know why people get hyped up about that.
What you mean? Nah. How do you not? It's literally in your division. How does that not matter to you?
Because it matters to me more that the Patriots don't make it. I don't care if the Dolphins make it. The Dolphins are garbage. I don't want the Patriots to make it.
The Bills are going to beat the Patriots. They're not making it, bro.
But if the Bills beat the Patriots and then we beat the Dolphins, that means the Steelers make it.
The Steelers get in.
We start with the Steelers.
The Steelers are getting in.
The Steelers ain't
Mike Tomlin.
You
talk about great coaches. Mike Tomlin is a great coach. He can find the way to win that game and make it into the playoffs. You know what? If this Mike wasn't so expensive, I'd drop it.
I'm going to watch the Jets because it's going to give me more fulfillment of one. If we beat them,
you're crazy. More fulfillment. No,
they're not going to the playoffs,
right?
And then the Bills.
So what you're saying
is
beat
the freaking Patriots,
and the Steelers are going to beat the Browns.
Yes, the Steelers can beat the Browns.
Have you seen them play, bro?
Yes, the Steelers can beat the Browns.
The Steelers can beat the Browns.
Come on, son.
And then that's going to be a trifecta of beautiful aura and serotonin being pumped into my brain. Because I got to watch the freaking Dolphins cry.
Don't get ahead of yourself.
I'm just saying. I'm saying if this is what I'm. But if you go to the Nets game and they lose, you got to watch another basketball. One of 82 games and one of 82 games in the NBA. Let me ask you one more question, Danny. Have they played in Miami already this season?
No.
So that means you still have another chance to go see them.
Come on, Danny.
So what you're telling me is that
tell him how wrong he is. Comment section. Please tell this man how wrong he is.
So what you want me to do is the Jets are horrible.
Yes.
You want me to go take the chance that they lose, and then I miss out, and then the Nets win. So what you're telling me is, you don't idea how much I'm gonna want to punch you in the face if I go to the game and the Jets lose, and then the Nets break a franchise record.
That is fair.
And then I'm sitting there at home, and I'm like, I just spent my afternoon watching the Jets lose to the Dolphins.
Listen,
and then I'm watching on TV.
Bro. I know you're a piece of shit.
The Nets break this franchise record.
Bearded, I love you, bro, but I can't argue that either.
No,
like if he goes and they do lose and then they win, like that hurts. But Battered, that means we got a top 10 pick, baby. Whew, this could be the pick that changes the trajectory of
while I'm
franchise.
At home at nighttime watching the Nets break that franchise record, I promise you that's not what I'm thinking.
This is also fair.
Listen,
also fair.
He could go and spend some quality time with this supposable boy of 25 plus years, but now
I'm going with my wife to the Nets game though.
Fuck your wife. All right, listen.
Hold on now. Time out now.
I can say that.
Oh. Shit.
Let's talk about this game and let's talk about the potential.
I'm just saying, like, you know, wives are forever, but friendship needs work. That needs work.
That's right here, bro. That's right here.
That shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, like,
right. You preach it, brother.
You got kids, right? You got kids, right, man?
Yes, he does. He's got two.
He ain't going nowhere. Yeah. That's forever. That is forever, bro. You got to put work, man. You got to put work into the freaking friendship, dog. You need to cultivate that, nurture it, bro.
Yeah, nurture it, touch it.
You can't quit on that.
Feel it.
You can't quit on that. You ever heard, hey, yo, bros before? I'm not going to say the other part. Because these are our wives we're talking about. Right. But I'm just saying the sentiment still applies.
Well, let's talk about this other sentiment. Let's talk about a potential. Hold on, guys. Somebody might get punched on screen right now.
She's not. She doesn't want to get on screen. Nah, we were just talking about.
What happened
it's sports. It's sports.
Go. Tell her that you want me to go hang out with Manny before I hang out with my wife. Go ahead.
No.
Nothing.
You missed the whole
good.
part.
Right. All she heard was hoes, and then she's like, "Oh, what hoe you in here talking about?" That's all she heard.
Yeah.
That's all she heard.
Yeah, exactly, Bearded. All you heard was bros before hoes, and that's it. That's what got her in the room. That's what got her in the room of the conversation. Yeah, literally, bro. She came out of nowhere. I'm like, where the hell did you come from?
Listen, bro.
No.
Nah.
First of all, my queen ain't no hoe. Ain't no talking about my queen like that. I don't like how you just said that shit.
Right.
I'm offended. I'm offended.
We got a little off track here.
My bad. We were talking about football, right?
Right. We're talking about football. Listen, let's go ahead and talk about this guy.
Let's go back to that.
Let's talk about our 7th round pick, Skylar Thompson, potentially getting the start against your New York Jets, Danny. And
we beat him once already.
You did. You beat Teddy Bridgewater. Remember, that's who started the game.
For
all right.
One play.
That's who started the game. That's who got the first practice reps. All right. Was Skylar Thompson. With Skylar Thompson with a full game under his belt, I saw what he did against the Minnesota Vikings. He was having a Teddy Bridgewater type game before you saw Teddy Bridgewater leave this Patriots game where he was successfully getting the ball downfield. And I get what you've said. You said the Minnesota Vikings also have a bad defense. Like a lot of people have
defenses in the league, right?
Right. A lot of people have moved the ball against the Minnesota Vikings. But from a fan perspective, I know what I have in Teddy Bridgewater. I know what I have in Tua Tagovailoa. And I don't want to see Tua Tagovailoa step on the field again this season, regardless of us making the playoffs or not.
Yeah.
I want to see I'm hoping a full game from Skylar Thompson for two reasons. This is just my point of view, and then I'll drop it off to you. I want to see Skylar Thompson see if we do have a potential backup in our system, in our franchise, where you're literally paying him almost the veteran minimum or less for him being a 7th round pick to be a backup to Tua next year or whomever else might be our quarterback. And then furthermore, if he comes in and has a good showing against the good defense is what you're going to title your defense. If he goes in and has a good game against your defense, I think that could be very telling of what he could potentially be next season. Because I don't feel like him coming in against the Patriots after Teddy got hurt. I don't think of him coming into the game after Teddy Bridgewater got hurt against you guys is enough to say, all right, we've seen enough of Skylar Thompson. I think that's unfair because that's like saying you've seen enough of Mike McDaniel, you've seen enough of Tua to be able to make an assertion of what they're going to be next year. That's just my 2 cents. But, sir, how do you feel about Skylar Thompson going against your Jets this weekend?
Gunny.
Skylar was drafted in what round?
7th round.
Yeah, listen, it's a 7th rounder, bro. Listen, the probability of I think anything past a 3rd rounder in the NFL being a legitimate starter in the league is like 5%, something ridiculously low, right? And it gets lower as the rounds go further out. Now, you have the Brock Purdy's of the world, who right now are like, oh crap, you know what I'm saying, Mr. Irrelevant.
We might have something.
Can look like this. You might have something, but I think we need to go ahead, and the recency bias is just so big. Everybody is so hopeful that they've got the next great big thing, right? That the realistic aspect is that's more an outlier than the norm. But I'm with you, man. At the very least, Streffer did look really good in the preseason, but we saw what he looked like in live game action.
The preseason is a different monster.
It's different.
I'll take Skylar Thompson's arm over Chris Trevor's arm. I think I throw
100%.
Sure. I think
100%.
I think I throw a better ball than Chris Trevor. But go ahead, Gunny.
You tell no lies. You tell no lies.
Finish your thought, Gunny.
So for me, man, I think it's just that with this, though, it makes perfect sense. You know Teddy Bridgewater is not going to be on the roster next year. You just know. You're not going to pay this dude that much money to come back. Tua is definitively going to be there. Do you want to bring in a veteran to combat him for QB1? Yeah. Maybe he drops a QB2 if he loses that, whatever the case might be.
Right.
But QB3 is also one important component. You're seeing that right now with the Dolphins. It's important right now. Facts, right, with QB3. So I think that in a situation like this, you do want to see what he's about. Because, again, what other choice do you have? If he wins this game and he goes into the playoffs. We signed
Mike Glennon today.
Yeah, I saw that. And I thought to myself, the desperation, I can smell it. I can smell it even here. I just think at the very least, he's going to let you guys know if he can play at a competent level.
Fair enough. That's my point.
Competent level. So I feel you on that. I think seeing him play, win or lose, it's going to at least allow you the ability to know, do we have a competent, reliable backup, whether it's QB3, QB4, whatever, on the roster? That's one less position y'all got to worry about in the offseason.
Preach it.
Because Teddy's gone. Tua's going to be, QB1, 1B, based off of, again, what Battered brought up makes a lot of sense, because he's right. To go in there blindly thinking he's going to stay healthy for 17 games next year, it's literally doing the franchise an injustice. You guys don't care. If you think, okay, we're going to bet on Tua, it's like us betting on Becton to be healthy coming back next year at the left tackle position.
Exactly the same.
It makes no sense. So when Battered said it that way, I was like, damn, he's right. I didn't even think about it that way. As good as Tua has been when he's on the field healthy, unfortunately, he missed, 6 games this year? 6 games.
Yeah.
Out of 17. That's a lot. That's a lot. It's about to be his 7th game. So, I think that in this situation, this is a great opportunity for y'all to know, okay, QB3/4, whatever, can this dude at least be serviceable in a pinch? Because injuries are part of the game.
And even two, and I'm not saying he's going to take Tua's spot, but what I'm saying is, in the very minimal off chance that we actually get rid of Tua Tagovailoa, and you do potentially see something in Skylar Thompson, now you know that you could potentially bring in a veteran and have Skylar Thompson back him up. But Danny, go ahead and drop me your 2 cents.
I think that Skylar Thompson would be a serviceable backup from what I've seen from him this year so far. I think
you look like Skylar Thompson, by the way. Just throwing that out.
But like you said, Gunny, you said I look like Skylar Thompson. But I think Gunny's right. I think QB3 is important because, like I said, I don't think Skylar Thompson is going to be your starter next year. I don't think that Tua should be plan A. Therefore, I think there should be somebody else coming onto this team to be quarterback. Like I said, which you said I shouldn't be predicting it so early, but I do think Tom Brady's going to be on the team next year. Even if he's not, I think there's going to be another QB coming in to be a veteran presence to compete with Tua. So I think Skylar Thompson's playing for that 3rd QB spot, and I mean, I'm
okay with that.
He's looked okay, as a QB3. I think that'll be great.
He's looked okay. Yeah, he has.
And by the way, outside of those big 5 names that we mentioned earlier, I do think there will be another veteran presence at quarterback in this roster. Who that might be, I don't know, but I agree with you. I don't think Chris Grier does himself a disservice if he's still the GM of this team and not bring in some type of actual competition for Tua.
I'll tell you who it is right now.
Well, it better not be Tom Brady because this guy already stole your thunder with that one.
Yeah, no, I don't think it's gonna be Tom Brady either. I don't.
Okay, what you got?
But I'm gonna say this right now. Here's my hot take for this offseason. Gardner Minshew is going to be on the New York Jets or the Miami Dolphins. I guarantee you. Gardner Minshew. Watch.
Okay.
He'll be either a Jet or a Dolphin this year.
So
we
got
know
Thomas
someone
Brady.
who is going to be wild.
That you said that. And we're not gonna listen, KRS, wherever you are, this man just predicted Gardner Minshew to the New York Jets or to the Miami Dolphins.
Sounds like we're gonna have like a third co-host next year.
Yeah, I promise you, if his boy Gardner Minshew gets signed by either of those teams, he will be a constant in one of our shows. But let's talk about another thing about your New York Jets. Something I didn't predict at earlier in the year. Is your running game susceptible to our running backs? The first play of the game started with like a 47-yard run against Seattle Seahawks.
49 yards.
Yeah, so something like that, and then he ended up the game with still 100 plus yards.
132 yards rushing and then another 20 yards passing. It was embarrassing.
So one of the
things
one of the things we haven't been consistent with is running the ball. I think with Skylar Thompson coming into the game, and you're like, all right, I can't make this guy pass the ball 40 times. I think they will rely on the run. So my question to you, Danny, are you guys actually susceptible to the run, and is that going to be a problem for the New York Jets this weekend?
I don't think it's so much of a problem. I think what I told you when we recorded our show, the Jets show, a couple of days ago, is that you guys need to score in the first quarter, because when we get punched in the mouth once, we buckle down, and it's basically just a field goal fest for the opposite team the rest of the game. But for some reason, they come out kind of lackadaisical. Yeah, and they give up a touchdown on the first or second drive. I was surprised that they gave up 2 in the first 3 drives this past week, but then they tightened up and it was just field goals the rest of the way. So I do think that if you're going to have success, it has to be early. And no, I don't think we're susceptible to.
There you go. So not running the ball or passing, you guys aren't really okay.
No, it was just 2 big plays that the Seahawks had. They had that 60-yard run, and then on the third drive, Geno Smith scrambled and did like a little dump off.
I remember
flick of the wrist
to DJ
the
Dallas,
running back.
I believe that's his name.
Somewhat, and he went like 50 yards, and it was those 2 big plays that ended up turning into touchdowns. Other than that, we made them earn everything, and it was basically just field goals the rest of the way. So Gunny, I don't think we're susceptible. No.
Gunny, Jeff Wilson, Raheem Mostert. We already know what Raheem Mostert is. You give him an inch, and he's gonna take a mile. He's gone. Jeff Wilson, he's a pounder. He might break up 3 or 4 tackles and get through your secondary. Is the running game susceptible? And it might be an issue for you guys this weekend against my team.
So first, I don't know if anybody else knew this, but the Miami Dolphins have on their roster the 2 fastest recorded miles per hour sprints ever in the NFL. Mm-hmm. Tyreek Hill, number 1 fastest recorded sprint at 23.2 something miles per hour. Mostert, number 2, at 22.10, like 1 something miles per hour. So the 2 fastest human beings in the NFL are on this roster, which is disgusting. And Waddle is a very close third. Like it's not like they've got the fastest like guys on their roster. I'm battered, man. I see where you're coming from, right? In terms of the team buckling down, but I do have a hint of defeat, like spewing from this team, man. And I think that's where I get a little bit more anxious about it, because we've been susceptible to the run throughout the year. We've got that incredible secondary with freaking Sauce and DJ and Carter that have done ridiculous things this season, and it's forced teams to rely on the run. And I think right now, with the amount of speed they have in the backfield, I actually put in my prediction video, that's my biggest fear. My biggest fear is them, these Sauce and DJ can lock up Waddle and Hill, and they're going to run the ball down our throats. And I don't know, man. I feel like towards the back of last week's game, you saw a team that was just there to be there. We're here now. We're not coming back. It is what it is. I am worried about the run game. I won't lie. I'm worried about the run game. I think if you guys beat us, it's going to be on the ground. I think the ground and pound mentality is what scares me more. I have more faith in DJ and Sauce being able to hold their own against
for sure
Waddle and Hill.
Yep.
And I just don't have, I can't see the answer at stopping that level of speed in the run game, even if it's a little freaking dump off screen pass,
which we've seen plenty of times.
Like we've seen do 1,000 times, because we're so worried about getting beat over the top by these freaking elite speed receivers. I'm worried about that. I think that the run game is going to be a heavy dose of what potentially does us in this weekend. So I'm concerned about it. I'm concerned about the run game.
All right. Well, on that note, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to go ahead and pick this game. And before
I start picking, could you do me a favor, Manny?
Yeah.
I was going to say something about the defense, but before I do,
sure.
Could you look up how often they passed when Skylar Thompson was started for you guys? Because the thing is, I get you, Gunny, and about being fearful of the ground and pound. But Mike McDaniels likes to play PlayStation 5. He thinks he's playing Madden out there. And no matter who the quarterback is, he likes to throw the ball. So I'm curious if when Skylar Thompson was
Skylar Thompson threw the ball against you guys 33 times.
That's a lot.
Okay. And then he played a game or two after that. He played against Minnesota.
Correct. I can tell you what it was right now.
So I'm kind of curious, because I don't think that they're going to resort to running the ball, because that's just not what Mike McDaniel does. I think that's his biggest downfall as a head coach.
100%. But I'm also giving my prediction based off of the fact that he also knows this game is do or die for his season. I think that the guy is a Harvard graduate. I'm sorry, Yale? Is it Yale?
I'm not sure.
Yale or Harvard, one of the two. He's went to one of those Ivy League schools.
Ivy League schools.
He's smartest. It's an Ivy League school. Smart dude. I have a hard time now. If he doesn't use that big brain of his to realize,
we might have that talk about coaching changes after.
Then
this
that's a conversation. If they lose this game, because like you just said, you're right. He does tend to want to play freaking Madden. He thinks he can out scheme and get everybody open and make it work. If he doesn't realize, like, my best way to beat these guys is on the ground, like the last two teams did, then there's a legitimate concern. Hey, bro, you're not seeing the bigger picture, because this is the safest season, bro. This game is to literally save this season. With the amount of capital they've put into this roster, the faith they put into him, complete control. Yeah, you win and you're in. You win, and the Bills are going to beat the Patriots. You win and you're into the playoffs. Right. And if he doesn't adjust his game plan, bro, knowing that Saleh knows him and freaking LaFleur knows him, like, I almost feel like, yeah, you're asking to be looked at and say, okay, you don't understand the concept of playing chess in the NFL, so this ain't checkers, bitch. And we're gonna have to go ahead and let you. So if they don't run the ball, and you're right, Battered, I'm with you. I think you're right. Like, he might want to play the video game thing. But if he doesn't realize that this game is huge and you don't have Tua back there slinging it, and you've got to make the running game work in this offense, which is a big component of getting the offensive flow, I'm going to have to kind of like step back in what I thought about Michael LaFleur in terms of like, hey, he did this. He was great. The elite offense. Let's give him another. Like, that's just dumb. That's dumb.
And by the way, being that you actually brought up a very good point as far as what we have on our team, I found the keyword that we're going to use before we pick this game. So I think we're going to go with Danny. Let me know what you think of this right here. I'll put it at the very bottom. This will be your keyword, boys, when I put the post. We're going to use this right here. Hashtag elite speed, because that's what the Miami Dolphins bring to the table. And that's what I think they're going to have to rely on. Like you said, Raheem Mostert's going to have to be a big part of this game. Jeff Wilson, Tyreek Hill, quick across the field, get it into his hands. Let him create. I think that's going to take it. I'm going to go ahead and pick first. I think the Miami Dolphins do win this game, whether Danny's there or he's crying somewhere else from being a little bitch from not wanting to watch his team. I think they're going to win this game 24-13, and the Dolphins will be – actually, both games are at the same time. Mike McDaniel has already come out and said that no news is going to be reported, at least from a stadium standpoint, that they're going to be showing the scores for that game. He doesn't want to hear anything while the game is going on. But I do think that Miami Dolphins do find a way to game plan correctly against your New York Jets and take the win 24-13. Danny.
Why?
What do you mean why?
how do you think that they're going to score 24 points on our defense?
Here we go again.
You're a fucking idiot.
Bro. Here we go again. On your
how could you possibly
defense,
think
on your whack ass defense, on your subpar good defense?
You know how many teams have scored over? You know how many teams? Do you have it? You know,
0.
Yo, 23
How
points.
many teams have scored 24 points or more?
You know what?
Against the
I'm gonna go up now. Now I'm gonna go up to 27. Keep talking. Keep talking.
But
bro.
that doesn't make sense, Bearded. Like no one has done that.
Nobody's gotten. The Bengals
Nobody's done that.
I think maybe it was
Ravens didn't get there. Wait,
the Bengals got there. The Bengals got there, and I think it was the Vikings scored 27 on us. That's it. You're telling me Skylar Thompson, your third string quarterback, is just randomly going to put up 24 points? Just randomly.
That's how little I think of your team right now, sir. That's all. And
especially
with Zach Wilson, maybe paying quarterback for you this weekend. Yeah, he'll turn the ball over a few times.
They already said Mike White's
okay. Well, he's got 29 broken ribs. He might throw a couple picks our way too and give us an extra possession.
So
that might
just for the record, only 2 teams have hit the 27-point mark on us or above. Game 2 of the season,
the Browns
with 30 points, and the Vikings exactly at 27.
The Bengals. You guys won against the Bengals, or you lost against the Bengals?
No, we lost against the Bengals, but they only
put up 27 on you as well.
Oh, 27 too. Okay, so 3.
Yeah.
So 3 teams. But you're talking about Jacoby Brissett.
Mac Jones put up 22 points on you guys. I don't want to hear it. We're putting up 23. We got a better offense than Mac Jones and the New England Patriots. Pick your damn game. Pick your damn game. Pick your damn game.
You know what?
Go ahead.
Look, I think the Dolphins have a chance to win. It's just stupid that he says that they're going to score 24 points. If you guys win, it's because you guys are going to win a very ugly game.
Okay.
So, but unfortunately, I don't think you guys are going to win. I'll say 14-10. The Jets win. That's the game that you want me to go to. That ugly slump.
I'm just wondering where you guys are going to get 14 points from, but that's fine. Go ahead, Gunny, man. What do you think of life, man? What do you think about this game?
Listen, I did my prediction video, and I'm going to just stick with what I put in the prediction video. Which is? I think that we're going to get out there to Miami. Our defense is going to be our defense. No turnovers. They're not going to turn everything over. And this is going to look very.
You know what game it was? You know what? You know when we got the most turnovers this season? You know what game that was?
I think it was the Dolphins game, wasn't it?
It was against Skylar Thompson.
Yeah, it was 3 turnovers.
So,
unfortunately, though, I do believe this won't be the case this week.
These guys are talking about like if they've seen Skylar Thompson all season and make a fair assumption of what Skylar Thompson's going to do this week.
I got us losing this
he's going to
game.
score 24 points for no reason.
It's not going to be that. I got us losing this game 17-10. And the reason being is because we just can't.
I can see us putting up 17 points.
17-10 is what I have y'all winning the game by.
I like it.
But yeah, 20. That's just disrespectful, bro. 20
I wanted to be disrespectful.
That's what it was. You're hoping for disrespect. Okay,
right.
That's fair. That's fair.
I don't want to go into this game and just barely win you and barely sneak into the playoffs. No, I want American History X the New York Jets this weekend.
But that's just not going to happen.
I want you to put your teeth on the curb. That's what I want.
That's just we both know that's not going to happen though, and I know you know it's not going to happen. That's the funny part. Like you're doing all this for the camera. But we all know that you don't even believe.
We're gonna film a reaction video directly after the game. I'm gonna call Gunny and I'm gonna FaceTime him. I'm gonna Zoom call.
And you better pray you better pray we don't
20
win.
Points. You're gonna have to give
you guys aren't.
Listen, if we go north, let's put it on the line right now. If we go north of 20 points, sir, you ready for this? Me and you, we go north because I know Danny won't hold his word because he won't even be there because he's a bitch. If we go north of 20 points, I want something from your backdrop.
As long as it ain't my Joe Namath jersey.
No, I won't disrespect you. It could be even something small. It could be something with the New York Jets logo that I could take from you, and then you could literally pick whatever you want. Not from my backdrop. I'm just saying, like you could pick your own prize. Whether it be we do another giveaway for a New York Jets fan, and I buy them Jets memorabilia. It could be
if y'all score 20 plus.
Yes, if we go north of 20 plus, yes.
So it has to be north of 20. So 21
and above.
Correct.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, I'll take that bet.
Okay.
I'll take that bet.
All right. And what would you want me to do in return if we don't make 20 points?
Actually, man, I ain't gonna lie to you. I want something from your wall.
Okay. What you want, man?
Yeah.
What you want?
Let's see what we got over there. What
That
is
American
that?
flag looking kind of nice.
That it does though,
Ooh,
but
hey.
that's big. That's
Hey,
huge. I don't want to be that guy.
That's like
then I
taking
gotta then I gotta put up the Joe Namath jersey, and I ain't gonna do that. what's that? Is that a little Dolphins gnome?
Yes, that right there is a Miami Dolphins gnome next to my Miami Dolphins bowling ball.
I want the gnome.
Okay.
I want the gnome.
My
What do you want,
gnome?
so I know what I'm worried about right now.
All right.
He's gonna put it up there like a trophy.
I am
will.
gonna put it
That's
up there.
exactly what I plan on doing.
And that's
That's what I
exactly
figured. That's what I figured.
All right. You know what? Not any of the big helmets. What about those little helmets you got up there?
All right. I'm the Sauce Gardner's off limits, but the Garrett Wilson. So this is we're not doing Sauce Gardner.
Okay.
This is Sauce.
Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough.
We got Garrett Wilson. Well, this one is Luke Kuechly. It's the Panthers, so it don't matter.
No, you can keep that.
You know what? I'm okay. I'm okay with Sauce, or Garrett. I'm okay with that. I feel confident enough in my boys not leaving up 20 points.
You best
So we got-
believe.
I
You
got
best
the Garrett
believe.
Wilson and the Sauce Gardner mini helmet.
I'm paying for shipping and handling for that Sauce Gardner. If we
I don't
put up
blame
north
you.
of 20 points.
I would too. I don't blame you. I would too.
All right, well, you heard it here, ladies and gentlemen. If the Dolphins put up north of 20 points this weekend against the New York Jets, I'm taking that Sauce Gardner or Garrett Wilson helmet. If I lose, he's taking my gnome that's right here. And he's going to put it up as a trophy as a time that I lost a bet. I don't think it's going to happen. I think we could put up north of 20 points. I'm telling you, your team is susceptible to turn that ball over, and we might just get lucky with that extra touchdown. I do think we could score somewhere in the range of 14 to 17. I will take that seriously. I think we could put up somewhere in that 14 to 17, but I think we might get lucky and go north of 20. That's just my two takes.
We'll see. All
Danny,
right.
anything to say about your Nets game? Because you're not a fan of the Jets, apparently. Anything you want to drop before we head out?
Before I let you go, this is the problem with Manny. He doesn't realize that there's more out there. He kind of does this to himself. It's like you ever heard of relationships that are open relationships?
Yes.
Okay. You know how that works, right? You love that person, you're with that person, but you're allowed to be with other people.
Right.
Manny is in this open relationship with the Dolphins. He doesn't realize that he's allowed to like other things, but yet the Dolphins go around fucking other people. So he's the only dumbass that thinks that he's faithful. He's like, oh, yes, but I'm showing you how much I love you. You're allowed to like other people. You're allowed to like other sports and teams.
Let me ask you another question.
You are not more of a fan because of this.
I am.
No, you are not.
You want to know why I am? You want to know why I am? Let me ask you a question. How depressed do you get when multiple of your teams lose in one fucking week? How depressed and down you get? Listen, your Jets just lost their chance to get to a player, and you were moping around for like 48 hours. Why would I want to do that?
I'm still moping around.
Why would I want to do that to myself with multiple teams? Why? You tell me one good reason why I should do that.
Because I was moping for 24 hours. But you know what happened after those 24 hours? On Monday night, the Nets whooped the Spurs' ass, and I felt better. You know why? Because on Sunday, I'm going to go to a good game where my team's going to win.
Oh, my God.
Going to watch my shitty team that is out of the playoffs already. Go ahead and well, I still think they're going to win. But go ahead and make me feel, this shit's finally over. That's why.
Nelson Laurento in the house. He likes to bet. You see it? He likes to bet.
I see it. I bet. I'm a man of my word.
I look forward to that gnome and
I want that gnome
backdrop.
I want that motherfucking gnome.
Okay. He's ready for a new house, man. He's ready for a new house, but it ain't gonna happen.
Yeah. Houston, Texas, baby. That's your new home inbound.
Ladies and gentlemen, this was episode 18 of the Battered Fins Fans podcast. Danny, it's been, regardless of what happens this Sunday, it's been a pleasure pushing through 18 episodes this season.
We'll have a recap when you guys miss the playoffs next week anyway, so it's all good. Don't act like you're saying goodbye.
I'm just saying.
I want to come back.
100%, especially if I win the bet, you're definitely coming back. If you win the bet, you may not. You could probably get like a visitor's pass. You could get
no. Hey, Battered Jets fan. Hey, Danny, make sure I get back, bro. Make sure I get back.
But no. What I was gonna say is, it's been 18 weeks that we put this together, and I've enjoyed all of it, even your shitty, bitchy attitude. And I look forward to an off season of dropping content with you. We got plenty to come, even after the season. Whether this is the end of the season for the Miami Dolphins, we already know it's for the New York Jets. But even if
agents,
we are
picks, that's so much.
Right, we got the way that the NFL set up now is the fact that we could talk football well into February, and then we could talk football literally 3 weeks later when free agency starts getting around the patch. And then you got looking forward to, well, we're in a position where we really don't have a lot to draft next year. But I'm just saying we're gonna have plenty to talk about, not just Dolphins football. Danny's had some great ideas of offseason shit that we could drop, and I'm looking forward to that. But Gunny, to you, sir, you've been a staple so far, and we even said bringing Gunny on. It's not like even bringing a guest, man. It feels like you're already a part of the show.
Nah, bro. I don't even put your stuff up on the sides anymore.
Because it's like you're fam. You're fam now. You know.
I was about to say it, man. This is fam, bro.
It was my absolute pleasure to meet you this season. I look forward to dropping way more content with you in the offseason and next season, brother.
100%. And I'm gonna be in Florida in July, like I said. So we're gonna have to
link up. We'll link up for that. And if you guys listened all the way to the end of this hour and 20-minute episode, we appreciate you hanging on, listening, and just look forward to more content coming out. Anything else, Manny?
Sure. You know me, baby. Fins up this weekend, north of 20 points, baby.
Go Jets. Shut them out.